All right. We are live. This is Mike Wall. Welcome back to another episode of the Agent Revolution podcast presented by Mike Wall Live, the place where we deconstruct the biggest challenges facing today's real estate agents so that they can build a sustainable, profitable, and most of all, fulfilling real estate business. What a show we have today. I'm joined by best-selling author Mabel Katz, and we are talking about happiness and specifically how to achieve happiness in the chaotic world of real estate. Don't forget, you can get more free, great real estate business training at MikeWallLive.com. Miss Mabel, are you ready to rock and roll?
I am ready. I just want you to know something that you don't know. My kids are in real estate.
No way.
Yes way.
Well, this show just got even better. So thanks for letting me know that. Before we get into talking about today's topic, let's talk a little bit about you, because one of the things I'm always curious about is how someone got into their particular, how they chose that particular career path. And so I'd love to hear your story about how you got into becoming a writer.
Yes. Well, I don't know that I am a writer. So listen to this. I used to be an accountant. I have 2 university degrees, CPA and a license in business administration. I'm originally from Argentina.
Yeah.
I've been living in Los Angeles for 37 years. And I was a very successful accountant, senior tax accountant here in LA.
Yeah.
But one day I woke up. I was looking for happiness in the wrong places.
Yeah.
So I had everything that somebody thinks it needs to be happy, but I was not happy. So I started my search and I became a spiritual. I became a believer. My life completely changed. And I started actually writing from my heart. So my books, for example, are very easy to read. I don't use very, difficult terms, or because I don't know them probably in English.
Yeah.
So, I just write again from my heart. That's why, my books, usually people say your book changed my life, know?
Love it. I love that. So this is actually one of my favorite topics because oftentimes in real estate, people want to learn more about skill set. And my belief is that it's not skill set that's lacking in real estate, it's mindset. The issue is mindset, because I think we have a bunch of skilled people running around with the wrong mindset. And,
yes.
and oftentimes what happens is, we have people who know what to do, they just don't do it, and they don't know why they're not doing it. You know what I mean?
I know. Well, I also have some my own experiences with real estate and things that happened that to me that were kind of miracle things.
Yeah.
For example, after I divorced, I started renting a place that I couldn't afford, really.
Yeah.
But it just came to me because a friend of mine said, let's move in together. So we have 2 incomes, but my friend changed her mind and she says, you know what, Mabel, I'm moving to Arizona instead. And I ended up with assuming, because I could have canceled, but I assumed, and I said, I will be the responsible person. I'm going to sign the contract myself. They allow me to do that. And in less than 1 month, I was making so much money. I said, I don't need a roommate. I can afford this place by myself.
Yeah.
And then the owner came to me. I love that place. And the owner came to me and says, Mabel, I know you love this place, but I decided I'm going to sell it. So when your rental agreement, expires in September, either you will have, if you want to stay, you have to buy it or you have to leave. That's the first time that I realized that being a renter is not secure yet, because they can ask you to leave anytime.
Yeah.
And I wasn't planning to buy, Mike, because I had owned houses. And I remember I was not happy. Yeah. So I realized it wasn't about owning things that make me happy.
Yeah.
So I said I could rent for the rest of my life. But anyway, I said, if this is the place for me, because I would love to stay, I said, God will get me the loan, because I couldn't afford. I had a short sale before. I had different reasons. My credit was not bad, but I had a short sale.
Yeah.
So at that time, it was a big deal, to get a loan. So I said that I don't qualify. I was not working. I didn't have a stable income at that time because I just divorced and I was helping my husband in his work. So I didn't have a job at that time of mine. But like I said, everything just fell into place. I had income suddenly and everything, but I didn't qualify for the loan.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if this is the place for me, God will get me the loan, because even being an accountant and knowing the requirements and everything, I don't qualify.
Yeah.
And at one point, my rental agreement expired and I didn't have the loan. So, I didn't think of calling the landlord and crying or say, oh, give me one more month. I love this place. I just said, you know what? I'm going to call him and tell him I didn't get the loan.
Yeah.
And without any thinking, or worrying or trying to manage or manipulate or control. So I just said, Ken, I'm still interested, but I didn't get the loan.
Yeah.
And he told me, Mabel, it's not a good time to put the property in the market. Just write down an extension of your rental agreement, fax it to me, and I'll sign it.
Yeah.
So he came up with a solution. Okay. Yeah. It happened to me another time when I let go completely of my secure and stable career as a tax accountant.
Yeah.
To dedicate full time to this, what I do now. And but I was counting with some income from some products, and that allowed me to hire to have employees already. And suddenly this income disappeared, and I said, what am I gonna do? How to handle, to support all these people, to have this big responsibility with a new career. 2 days later, Mike, I got a letter from, at that time, Wells Fargo, my mortgage lender, and says, your mortgage is going down to half. I was paying $1,900. Now you have to pay $900 only, because I had a variable loan and the interest had gone down. I mean, so you're talking about mindset. We actually create our own lives. And it depends if you worry or no worry, or the important, or if you are attached, to results or something. We are our own obstacle in our own life. I mean, miracles really happen.
When you say that, though, I want you to say that again. You said we create our own lives, and I want you to explain that to the audience. What do you mean by that?
I mean that if you say I can, I can. If you say I cannot, I cannot. If you say this is difficult, it's difficult. We don't realize that our power is in our thoughts. Mm-hmm. Many times we don't even know what we are thinking, because it's at the subconscious level. Yeah. So you say, what? I am 100% responsible. No way. Yeah, because it's just the program playing in your subconscious mind. Sure, it's not like you do it consciously, but we are 100% responsible for what we create. I didn't end with the story. So at one point, okay, my rental expired, yes, and I didn't get the loan. And one day I received, out of the blue, a call from somebody I knew, and he knew I was looking for a loan. And he said, Mabel, did you get the loan? And I said, no, 2 people that thought they could help me, they gave up. And he says, I have the bank that will lend you the money. And he got me the loan.
It wouldn't be the Agent Revolution podcast without technical difficulties, folks. Mabel, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, I lost you just for a little bit. We lost some of the feed, but do me a favor. So repeat what you just said one more time, because I think you cut out for about a minute and a half there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I lost. So my question was, we were just saying, well, why, right? Why do people? Why this belief that you create your own life? You were saying is based on the thoughts that you produce. Most of these thoughts take place at the subconscious level, but it's coming from somewhere, right? This pre-programming is coming from somewhere. It's either coming from our parents. It's coming from, it's pre-programmed into our DNA. Where is this coming from?
Well, now scientists says that we have like 2 stations, So we are usually listening to the one that speaks louder, that is our intellect, the part of us that thinks it knows. but we all have a connection to the universe, cosmos, a more intelligent mind than ours that usually is the one producing the miracles, solving the problems in ways we never thought possible. And we have to give permission because we have free choice. So we are always choosing who we give the control, yes, to this part that is loud and makes up things and have opinions and judgments, or we become a little bit more humble and we said, hey, I don't know, yes, you just need to know that whatever is right and perfect will happen, or is that if you need the money will come in the moment that you need it, not a month before like you want it.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that your thoughts are a self-fulfilling prophecy? In other words, that if you believe the money will come, that in most cases it will, and if you believe it won't, then it's probably not going to show up for you, right?
Yes, I totally believe that. And I'm proof of that.
Yeah. And to your point, I think that I was just talking to somebody about this weekend, and we were talking about, like, because, they define poverty as like an amount of money that you make, right? It's like, if you're below, $23,000 a year or $30,000 a year, whatever that number is here in the States, that you're in poverty, right? That's how they label you. And I believe personally that, there's a definition, right, in the United States of poverty that's below this certain amount of money, but poverty in reality is a mindset also. Poverty is a belief, right? And
they said it's poverty consciousness. Yes. For example, they said thinking about, one day I'm going to win the lottery. They said that's poverty consciousness. Yeah. Thinking you cannot do that money or you cannot do it. I mean, you need to win the lottery. Or, for example, as you know, statistics show that whoever wins the lottery or inherit money, they lose it 3-4 years later. They file bankruptcy,
right?
Because you didn't prepare. It's about earning it. You understand what I mean? Or anything that you receive for free, you don't appreciate it.
Right.
It doesn't have any value. We don't know that everything is. There has to be an exchange.
Right. It's about the journey, not about the destination, right? It's who you become in the journey to becoming a millionaire that makes you be able to keep it, right?
Exactly. It's about the experience. Yes, it's about the journey. And for example, even when my kids were little, I used to tell them, I said, I'm not going to give you the fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish.
Yeah.
Because the idea is you want to be independent. You want to know that even if you lose everything, you can start all over again. There is nothing like being able that the universe will give you the opportunity to start all over. And I had the opportunity, being an immigrant, I had to start all over in this country. Yes.
Yeah.
And after my divorce, it was like starting over, and I appreciate and I'm grateful for those opportunities. Sometimes we go into the panic. Yeah. Let's talk about the pandemic. There are not two people right now that they are living the same experience because of the pandemic, because each one of us is making their own stories, their own reactions to things, our own perception and interpretation of things. Mm-hmm. So it comes back to us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. And, as it relates to real estate and the pandemic, it's like, I often find that when we bring somebody new into our environment or an agent comes in, it's like they go through this evolution, right? Where they have to work really hard. It's like, and I always tell them, the universe is not going to relinquish itself to you until it knows you won't give up. It's going to continue to knock you down and knock you down. Yeah. And then once it sees that you'll continue to get up time after time, then it will start to relinquish its fruits to you.
We always have to start the process. The universe will not do it. But once you do it, once you put yourself in the path, once you trust, amazing things happen. For example, if I go through something that is scary, you know what I repeat mentally? I let go and trust. I let go and trust. I let go and trust. And things get resolved.
Yeah.
When I had that, what I was telling you about a lost income, and I didn't know if I could afford all my employees, Yeah, I went into the anxiety. My intellect told me, "Oh, you will have to go back to preparing taxes," and that was the logical, yes. But
Yeah.
you know what? 30 seconds later, I had another thought, and I said, "God, you know why I'm here? You know how much I need and when?" I said, "I'm not gonna worry." It's not like I didn't worry anymore. It's like I was conscious enough not to give the control to my worry. So
Yeah.
every time that I noticed I was worrying, I would look up and I said, I'm not going to worry, like a little child,
Yeah.
because we have to go back to being children and trust the way we trusted when we were children.
Yeah.
That
I
we
love
were,
that. And I always love reading books about Stoicism. I'm probably, I don't know, I think I'm just addicted to reading books about Stoicism, because what they believe is it's not things, events, or people that upset you. It's your opinion of or your expectations of what you think, about those things. And because ultimately no one can upset you.
you decide.
Yeah, it would be your judgment of what, and the reason why we know that is because something may happen to me that upsets me, and it happens to you and it doesn't upset you. It's because my judgment of what's happening is different than yours, right?
Agree
It's,
totally. You know what we say? We say the problem is not the problem. It's how you react to the problem that is the problem.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So, for example, I talk about a very ancient Hawaiian art of problem solving. It's called Ho'oponopono. And I learned through Ho'oponopono that I am 100% responsible, no guilty, because
Yeah.
people say, confuses. It's totally different. Is I want something to change out there, I have to change.
Right.
You understand? We are waiting. The same thing, I have a world peace campaign, and it's peace begins with me, peace within is world peace. We are waiting for something to happen. Somebody has to do something about it, but we don't realize the power we have to change it. We don't have the power that we have to create it. And sometimes you don't even have to get out of your house to make a difference.
Yeah, yeah. So oftentimes I find that a lot of people in our industry, it is very chaotic, and there's a lot of emotions on the line when you're talking about real estate. But when you have to be able to compartmentalize those things. It's like, yes, bad things happen, and it's about learning acceptance and then being able to pivot and move forward quickly, I think, is what makes a really good real estate agent. Because if you get too emotional, if you go down a rabbit hole too far, then I think you cannot be the best version of your real estate self and be able to direct and guide your clients. And people talk about, I'm realizing as I get older now, I realize happiness is a choice more so than anything. And right. And I think that, we make the mistake of saying, once I get here, I'll be happy, or once I do this, I'll be happy. And then we get there and we realize, I feel exactly the same way I did before. And what we don't realize is that if we had just made the choice to be happy about what we have in gratitude and what we've already accomplished, then we could continue that feeling throughout our entire lives. Would you agree with that?
And you have to know that, let's say you lose money in a property or something, you have to know that more is coming.
Yeah.
I think you also have to work on the fear of rejection, not taking things personal. Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things. Sometimes you say next. The story that I tell in my very first book, The Easiest Way. I heard this and I thought it was amazing. But this guy, I remember, I don't know if I was in a multi-level company or something like that. And this guy came to talk to us, and he was in real estate. And he told us the story that when he was young, he had this opportunity to work for this real estate company. And the owner says, okay, come with me, you're going to go out to the market with me. And they start driving, and he's so excited. And at one point, the guy stops in a corner and he says, okay, I'm going to leave you here, and you are going to go for your first 100 no's. See all those houses, you knock, and you ask them if they want to sell their house. I says, and he gave them a paper with 100, squares. I says, and you go for your first 100 no's. Yeah. And he was scared and he couldn't believe it. But he went for it. And he says, hey, if I didn't go for the no's, I would have gotten the yes. And I got some yes. Some people say yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's a book written after that. It's called Go for No, by the way. It's a really good
I
book.
didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And so let me ask you this, because you said one thing that really stood out to me. You said that you wrote from the heart. And so on some level, you felt compelled to really delve into this topic of, mindset or creating your own destiny. And obviously you've come a long way since you've started, but like, where did that even come from? Like, did you come to a point in your career as an accountant where you were not happy and you wanted to figure out why, and you started digging and you really started to uncover all this stuff?
No, I'll tell you what happened. Well, first of all, my mother used to come from Argentina to visit, and she said, "Look at the house you have, and new cars, and a husband that loves you so much, and 2 kids, beautiful and healthy." And she would say, "What's your problem?" Because I was always mad and satisfied. Like you said, you think it's that house that will make you happy, and then you move in and you say, no. So you keep and you keep looking for a bigger one. It was okay. What happened was that I was a very angry person, and I played a lot with my oldest son, and not physically but verbally.
Yeah.
And one day he talked to me the way I used to talk to him, and I saw myself. I was awake, and I guess enough, or I decided to awaken, and I said, wow, I said that he learned that from me, and that's not what I wanted to teach him.
Yeah.
And I told myself, Mabel, you have to do something. And that day, I don't know if you remember, and I don't know if they are still here, but many, many years ago, I'm talking about, there was in the San Fernando Valley, there was a university. It was called Learning Tree University.
Yeah.
And I used to receive their book, with all the courses and everything. I'm talking to you about the time that there were the first courses about Excel and Word and how to send an email, and the internet and things like that. And I never saw that they have other kind of courses. But when I took the decision, oh, voila, like we said, the universe is waiting for you. Yeah. And I saw that there was a class about anger. And I said, hey, I'm going to go and take, I said, what is anger? Where is coming from? Yes.
Yeah.
And this guy ended up being a metaphysical teacher. And I started going to his house for group courses, metaphysics. Another friend of mine noticed I was in my search, and she gave me a metaphysical book. Then I started going to yoga classes, and at the end of the class, the teacher would make us do a visualization. And I was manifesting what I visualized in my yoga class that same day.
Yeah.
So I started wondering if we had the power to change our life inside of us. Yes. So because I was always a person that used to blame and complain and trying to change people, and the problem was always out there,
Yeah.
So I started wondering, and one of the most important things that changed my life was realizing that we don't depend on anybody or anything to change our lives.
Yeah.
That we don't have to wait. That, like you said, happiness is a decision. There is not enough money to make you happy. Yeah. It's not about the money. It's not about the house. It's not about. That's why when you said what it came to me when you talk about 30,000 and the level, and that's poverty.
Yeah.
Maybe the $30,000 guy is much happier than us that make much more money.
Yeah.
So what is important really in life? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if you do the real estate to have fun, to help people, to make people's dreams, come true, and that satisfies you. I always ask the question, what would you do even if you don't get paid?
Yeah.
Because that question also changed my life.
Yeah.
I was still a tax accountant, and you know what I wrote when they asked me that? I said, traveling the world, sharing with others what had helped me. So when I tell you that I write from my heart, it's because I have this fire inside of me of waking up people. I feel my mission is to wake up people.
Yeah.
I don't have to convince you Ho'oponopono, nothing. I have to tell you, wake up. Stop blaming and complaining. Choose to be happy.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it just makes so much sense in today's day and age too. When, I mean, people have more wealth than ever, right? But they're also as unhappy as they've ever been.
Yeah,
And
we have created a very unhappy world. And I think if we don't do it for us, we have to do it for us. We owe it to our children. For example, I love to work with young people because my message, you know what my message to them is? It says, you can be happy now. Don't wait.
yeah. And it's interesting when we look at children, oftentimes we see the happiest people, right? I mean, especially very young children. They're just so happy,
Young
and
children.
they're
Before we start,
they'll introduce themselves to anyone. They'll
before
talk
we
to
start
anybody.
programming them, before we start
Yeah.
programming them.
And that's the problem. So how do we stop doing that?
We have to work on ourselves. And I think that the most important is that we become happy parents. We stop producing unhappy professionals.
Yeah.
That we allow them to be themselves. Yeah. But for that, we are their model too. They don't listen to us. They observe us. So we have to start being happy.
Yeah.
We have to show them that, that is important really to do what you love, not the title.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying here is that really, this feels right on an unconscious level or subconscious level, right? It's like inherently we know this to be true,
sure.
But society is telling us something else always, right? Yeah. It's telling us more is always better. It's telling us to buy the new car. It's telling us to get the great job, even if we don't like it, that makes a lot of money, right? It's telling us to, show everybody everything we have. You know what I mean? It's in reality of it is it's perpetuating the problem. And people that's why I love to start every day out with some gratitude, right? Because there's always something to be grateful for.
Sure.
There always is.
Yes.
And I just feel like I start literally every single morning. I start out with gratitude because it puts me in the right frame of mind to receive whatever happens in the day.
Good for you. Yeah, that change your vibration. Yes, because we are energy. So if you are down into the grief, if you are down into the fear and things like that, more possibilities of getting sick, for example. So you realize it comes back to us. Always comes back to us. And the decisions are what you are focusing on. Because even now that we are going through some bad things or whatever you want to call it, there are a lot of good things happening too. A lot of people are waking up.
Yeah. That's a great segue, actually, because I don't want to let you get out of here without talking about your newest book, Zero Frequency.
Yes.
So talk about the idea behind this book, where it came from, and talk about a little bit about what the reader can expect.
Yeah, so, all my work is based on Ho'oponopono. That's the only thing I practice for, I don't know how many years now, more than 20. But again, for me, it's not about convincing anybody. It's about sharing, and it could be Ho'oponopono or something else, but do something. Yes, wake up. Okay, Ho'oponopono is esoteric, it's spiritual. Some people could close to it because of that, because a lot of people confuse spirituality with religion, where it's exactly the opposite. Yeah. But zero frequency allows me, because I've been doing zero frequency trainings for more than 10 years around the world. But zero frequency allows me to show you how very simple spiritual concepts can work for real estate, for accountants, for parents, for your everyday life, because spirituality should be the foundation of our life. Yes. We got it all, like working for money. It's completely the opposite. You have to do what you love. Yeah. What you would do even if you don't get paid, and then you will always have money. You will never have money problems. Okay, so zero frequency allows me to explain these spiritual concepts, but in a more practical or intellectual way. Yes, and because I come from the business world, because I am still an intellectual person, for me it's important to put the two of them together and show you. And I give you plenty of tips, plenty of stories, plenty of things that you can identify yourself and says, oh my, okay, when I have a problem, the worst thing I can do is think, okay, I just have to breathe. So you take a deep breath, or you relax, or you go and hug a tree, or go for a walk. But it's exactly the opposite of what we learn. No, you have to worry, otherwise you are irresponsible. No, you stop everything when you worry, or when you think. Or it's even arrogant from us to think that we are going to resolve it.
Right.
So it's becoming more humble. It's trusting more of you. For me, it's very important that people find their passion. I stumble with my passion, or what I would do even if I don't get paid. But it's not about not getting paid. You can get paid very good money. But in the beginning, that's kind of your compass, yes? Your start point.
Mabel, can I stop you really quick?
Sure.
Do you find that in most cases, fear, anxiety, worry, they all come from living in the future? In other words, you're worried about things that are beyond your control. And when you worry or you're anxious or you're fearful, oftentimes you're not in the present moment, correct?
If you are engaging with the emotions, is it somebody or something triggers something from the past? If you are worried, anxious, or something, you are in the future.
Right.
So zero frequency is about living in the present. That's all you have.
Yeah.
And actually, it depends on because life is consequences. We don't realize because of the thing of time.
Yeah.
But everything that we are living right now is consequences of the decisions that we made, actions we took. You understand what I mean? We are 100% responsible.
Yeah.
But the good thing is we can change it. It's not about you feeling bad because you created it. It's about I said, I created it. I can change it.
Yeah.
Now you get your power back. Otherwise, you are giving power because of the government. Is your neighbor? Is your spouse? Is your partner? You are always depending on somebody. No, you depend on you. That's it.
And the good news when you do take responsibility for your actions or where you're at in life is that you are there because of the decisions you've made, but you also have the power to control and change those decisions, right? And start making better.
I was a very independent person since I was a child. I started making money at 5 or 6 years old. I started selling magazines, to make money. But the thing is that I felt free for the first time in my life. Well, first of all, I was happy for the first time in my life when I found spirituality, and I realized I was not alone. I didn't have to do it alone, and everything else. But the other thing, it was the idea that, wow, I created it, I can change it. When I realized about 100% responsibility, I felt free for the first time in my life.
Yeah. What's your favorite book that you've written?
That I've written?
You've written personally.
The Easiest Way to Grow. for children 3 to 100-year-old.
And why is that your favorite?
Because everything that changed my life, everything that helped me to open up my mind, everything that I put it on that book. It was a children's book, so I couldn't put everything. Yes, so I recorded the messages, and it's all about reprogramming your subconscious mind, remembering. It's about remembering. Yes. Letting go. For example, we talk about many important things, but I'll tell you other things that changed my life. For example, I was a person that, for me, what other people thought of me was very important. When I let go of that and I realized that what I think of me is important, not what other people think. Yes. So I put that in the book, because we waste so much energy and time during life pleasing people. Yeah. And even if you get everybody to talk great about you, if you don't love yourself, forget it. You are empty. Yes?
So true. So true.
Okay, so I let go of that. I learned to forgive in my heart. Not that I had to go to talk to anybody. You know why? Because I realized that if I didn't forgive, I was hurting myself, not the person that didn't deserve my. Sometimes, like you said, we know everything, yeah? Everything, oh yeah, sure. But we have to practice, yeah? So if you don't forgive, you are still in the past. You carry that person with you that you hate so much, you carry it with you.
Yeah.
You know, they said it's like taking poison and waiting for the other one to die, you know. So it gets to the point you have to love yourself enough not to hurt yourself anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you are at peace for no reason, when you are happy for no reason, I mean, everything gets added. Everything comes to you because, again, you are not an obstacle in your own life.
Yeah. It's your frequency, right? You are now the vibrations
Exactly.
now are of abundance, and you're actually acting as a magnet. You're not repelling things like you do.
Zero frequency is allowing.
Yeah.
Yes. So you are in this frequency where you allow things, where you accept, when you don't react as much, when you can put some distance, when you don't take things personal, and definitely when you are doing what you love. For me, it's very important to connect people with what they love, what they would do even if you don't get paid. Because for me, that would be a perfect world, that we all do what we love.
Yeah.
Yes? We all would have money and resources and everything.
Yeah. So I'm curious, has any book that you've read made a major impact on you? Like,
Yes.
what's the one book or two books that have made a major impact on you? Okay, give me three. Love them.
7 Spiritual Laws for Success. Very small book, Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
Everything you have to know is in the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have that one. I'm writing it down now.
Okay. So 7 Spiritual Laws for Success. Then the Mastery of Love from Don Miguel Ruiz. Everybody knows him for the 4 Agreements.
Yeah.
But the Mastery of Love is amazing book.
Okay.
And then The Power of Now.
Yeah. That's a great book, by the way. That's one of my favorites. That was the book that started it all for me. And there's one more by Dr. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. I don't know if you've ever read that book.
No, I didn't read that one.
If you like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, you will love that book.
Okay, I will write it down. Tell me again the author.
It's Dr. James Allen.
Okay.
And it's As a Man Thinketh and From Poverty to Power. Get the dual edition book.
Okay. Okay. I will because I also love to share with people from other authors, whatever, because I like when we coincide. Yes, we all talk about the same thing. Yeah. So the idea is how to say it, the same thing in a different way. Yes, or to confirm things.
Right.
Yeah.
And you always take just so much from every book. You know what I mean? But what happens is when you've read a compilation of so many different books on one subject, it really starts to sink in, and you really start to live that out in your life.
No, and even every book you have to read it many times, because every time you're gonna reread it, you're gonna find things you never saw before.
Yeah.
Because you are different, yes, or you are ready, or now that you read it, you interpret it in a completely different way. Now it's like, now I got it.
Yeah. Well, I can feel your energy. You have a great vibration through the screen here. I
love what I do, and I think it's definitely my passion. And I think you can tell, when people do what they love and why they do it, when they do it for the money.
Yeah. So true, Mabel. Well, let me ask you this. Obviously, you can buy the book. I know you can buy it over on Amazon. I think you can get the Kindle edition for $7.99 right now. Yes. How can people? What would you recommend? You have obviously more than one book, right? Where would you recommend people start with the series of books you've written?
Well, no, the Zero Frequency is a good start because it's set apart from all my previous book. I have The Easiest Way to Live, The Easiest Way to Grow. I have Malujia, that is another another children's book. It's 26 it's like all these spiritual principles, but telling the stories that are actually real, different. Yeah. Some people would think weird, but they are real. I was more than 10 years with my teacher, Dr. Ihaleakala, who I learned the Ho'oponopono from. And he told me a lot of weird stories, but that's what opened up my mind, and that's what changed my life. So the Zero Frequency, what it has right now is an offer. I highly recommend it because it says for people that are getting into the search, yes,
Yeah.
or getting into spiritual principles or things like that. Again, not to be confused with religion. So zero frequency gives you a lot of different things. I mean, so it's kind of more mainstream, yeah. Like I said, more balance into spirituality and real life.
Sure.
So and right now, if you go to zerofrequency.com and you go to the book page, you're gonna see that actually, if you buy it in Amazon, you can get $100 and digital products. One is my very first zero frequency training I did here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
With my teacher, Dr. Ihalia Kalahiulen. He participated in my very first zero frequency training.
Yeah.
And then another one that I did, that is Renew You, that we did with Don Miguel Ruiz and DC Cordova and Gary Quinn, Gabriel Nosovich, and other people. And it's amazing. That's video, amazing. You can do processes there. You're going to learn a lot about business and how to apply also all these principles.
Yeah.
So I totally recommend it, and right now you are getting it for free. But anyway, I am in all social medias. In Facebook, I'm Mabel Katz fan page, and then Instagram, Mabel Katz, Twitter, etc. And I do have a mabelkatz.com page that has some free resources and a Ho'oponopono video course. That a free basic Ho'oponopono video course. So I mean, I have a lot of things, but also in the zerofrequency.com there is like a starter pack, and you can get also part of this book and some videos, and also this book comes with 10 videos that accompany the book, because I wanted to kind of be there with people, to support people as they go, because I always says zero frequency is a journey, that starts on the first page of the book. And then I would like, so there are many chapters that come with a video, so you can get access also. Those are for free too, but they come with the book.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like a study guide, right? It's like it's watching the videos the same time you're reading the book, and they kind of play off each other.
Yeah, or when you finish, you want to reinforce the concepts or something, or maybe when you listen, you get the idea better than after you read it or something like that. So people will use it in different ways, but I just wanted to do some complementary things to just the book.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mabel, we're so grateful that you had an opportunity to spend a few minutes with us here this afternoon.
I enjoy very much, Mike, and I love your way of thinking too.
Well, I've so enjoyed it. And as usual, I love sharing these stories week after week, because I know this show is literally changing agents' financial and spiritual life.
And I will tell my kids to watch you.
Yeah. Do me a big favor. If you know someone that might enjoy the podcast, please share it with them. And if you like the podcast, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe. And don't forget, we've got 8 hours of free real estate training over at MikeWallLive.com. Please leave us a 5-star review if you like the show. For Mike Wall, this is Mabel Katz. Hey, Mabel, thank you so much again for being on the show. I so enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right.